She is so nervous. She just called Trooper Proctor Trooper. When you have a mother like that, you just need to run in the opposite direction as far as you can. Distance yourself from these people.
We've tried to figure out what happened to John, our friend.
Ms. McCabe, I'm the one asking the question. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to your favorite show on the internet, Raw Law Unfiltered, with your favorite host, the DUI Guy. Plus, today we are going to continue part 2 of Jennifer McCabe's cross-examination by Alan Jackson, the one, the only, Alan Jackson. Today, you are going to see Jennifer McCabe try and perform some of the most unbelievable mental gymnastics that I have ever seen a witness attempt on the witness stand before. You will see how Jennifer McCabe tries to distance herself from a report that Trooper Proctor wrote on January 29th when he first interviewed Jennifer McCabe. When her story was still fresh, when her story was still real, when her story was still devoid of so many lies that they have later concocted to put the blame on Karen Reed. You will hear about where Karen Reed's Jeep was, where she said it was initially, and then how she changed her story later on. And you will see her try to snake her way through Alan's attempt to show that she is directly contradicting the testimony that she made on January 29th, 2022, here today in court. Watch what she does. Watch how she tries to undo the damage that Alan is doing to the prosecution's case. Did she succeed or did she fail? You be the judge. It doesn't get much better than this. Jennifer McCabe, the puppet master, as I like to call her, Jennifer Puppet Master McCabe, has been cooking, folks. She has been cooking. If you did not tune in to part 1, you need to go check it out. Oh my God, some of the stuff that Alan Jackson got out of her was absolutely chef's kiss. And today we're going to continue with that same saga. So, buckle up, folks, because you are not in Kansas anymore. Let's go.
Interviewed by Trooper Proctor on January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
And you were asked a series of open-ended questions. What did you see and where did you see it, correct?
Yes.
Nobody put any words in your mouth.
No.
Nobody told you what to say at that time.
No.
And you told Trooper Proctor that when you arrived at the scene, after you got there, you, quote, first observed the vehicle, meaning Miss Reed's SUV, parked on the street by the driveway facing the direction of Chapman. Correct?
Do you have something I can look at to refresh my memory?
Oh, look at her continuously trying to extract information out of Alan Jackson. Answer the question, lady. She knows what's coming. She has seen footage of the trial. It is so clear. If you still have any doubt in your mind that Jennifer McCabe has not been watching this trial, you need to check yourself, because she has been watching every single moment of this trial. She knows how impeachment works. She has been studying it by watching Alan Jackson and David Yannetti. She has been watching them closely, and she knows that Alan is about to ask her a question that you said previously, that contradicts what you said today. She wants to preempt that. She wants to strike first. Hey, excuse me, can I see what you were referring to? Watch how Alan does his thing.
Right?
Sure. Do you not have a clear memory of exactly what you told Trooper Proctor?
Well, I know what
Just yes or no. You need your memory refreshed?
I would like to see what the report says, please.
Permission? Yes. Thank you.
See, he's not exactly giving it to her right away. Like, do you not remember what you said to Trooper Proctor? Well, of course I do. I just need my memory refreshed. Oh, okay. If that's all you need, then please, go ahead. Yeah, no problem. I got you.
Paragraph 3. This is the face page. You'll review that, especially the highlighted portion. Let me know after you've reviewed it. Just read it to yourself.
She knows what's coming.
Do you have that, does that refresh your recollection?
Yes, I know I told,
All I'm asking you, I'm so sorry to do this, I don't mean to be rude. I'm just asking you, does that or does that not refresh your recollection?
regarding,
What you said to Trooper Proctor on the 29th?
well, I know what I said to Proctor Trooper on the 29th.
Okay.
She is so nervous. She just called Trooper Proctor Proctor Trooper. Sorry. I am only laughing because it is such a telltale sign and such a giveaway as to how stressed and nervous she is. Because she just read a bunch of words that she said, and she's trying to keep her lies intact. She's trying to keep her lies in order. And it's not an easy task. Now, I feel no remorse for this woman. None whatsoever. She's covering up a murder. I cannot feel sympathy for a human like that. However, I feel her pain. I feel her pain because she knows it's about to go down. Watch what Alan does next.
I have to do it this way, as court rules. Does that help you with your recollection of what you told Trooper Proctor?
I didn't tell I told Trooper Proctor the car was outside when I looked at the front door, it was straight outside.
Okay. I can't quite get the answer I'm looking for. The court is going to require me to ask this question again. Does that refresh your recollection, yes or no, as to what you told Trooper Proctor? Yes.
I did not say this to Trooper Proctor, no.
It doesn't help you.
No.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, that was a beautiful moment. For those of you who may not be experienced in the court of law, allow me to enlighten you about what just happened. Alan Jackson asked a simple question. Did you tell Trooper Proctor where the van was parked or where the vehicle was parked? And she said, yes, I told him it was parked here. Alan Jackson has a statement from Jennifer McCabe that states explicitly the car was located somewhere else. So he is trying to impeach her by giving her the document, which is a transcript of the hearing, where she either spoke to Trooper Proctor, or that was Trooper Proctor's statement, or maybe it was a previous grand jury testimony, maybe it was the federal investigation. Could be any number of things where Jennifer McCabe is on record testifying. And he just put that document in front of her face, and she read it, and she, to her horror, the words on the page did not match what she said today in court. Maybe the story changed, maybe she forgot some facts, maybe like when you weave lies, it's a lot difficult to keep track of them. It's a lot easier to keep track of the truth, because the truth you have a mental image about the truth. When you create lies, you have to manufacture new images, and those are sometimes harder to remember. You have to add a lot of emotion, a lot of action. That is the only way to really truly remember your lies. I don't recommend it. It's a very, very difficult and mentally exhausting feat for any human being. And you can see that written all over Jennifer McCabe's face. She's struggling. She's having a great, difficult time keeping everything together. And now Alan Jackson is about to go in on one of the most contradictory pieces I think Jennifer McCabe has said thus far.
So you did speak to Trooper Proctor on the 29th, correct?
Correct.
And Trooper Proctor asked you some very specific questions about where things were, correct?
Correct.
Focused on Miss Reed's SUV, didn't he? Asked you questions about where Miss Reed's SUV
If you
was.
can show me in the report.
Just read it.
So just off of what I just read, is that what you're going off of? Yes?
I'm asking for your memory. You're testifying.
Yes, so my memory is exactly where the car was.
Hold on.
Look at how frazzled she's getting. She's stumbling over her words. She's like, look at the report. Lady, I'm not asking you about the report. I'm asking you. Well, can I see the report? You just saw the report. What more do you need? She is not able to maintain because, like I said before, she is so used to being in control. She just doesn't know how to handle it.
It's very important that both of you, one person at a time, speaks.
Okay.
Madam Court Reporter has to do what you're both saying, and she can't do it simultaneously. So the best way to do that is, Ms. McCabe, just let counsel ask the question and
Okay.
then you answer. And if it takes a lot more time than we expect it to take, it does.
Okay.
So just
Thanks.
go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll slow it down. Did you talk to Trooper Proctor about where the SUV was?
Yes.
Thank you. And he asked you questions about where it was situated outside, correct?
Yes.
And you told him that you first observed it parked on the street by the driveway facing the direction of Chapman, correct?
I told him that when I looked out the front door, the car was straight ahead. And yes, it was facing up Chapman.
But you left out a little part by the driveway, correct?
That could have been his interpretation or an error on his part.
I see. So Trooper Proctor is wrong about what you said.
Objection.
No, I'll let him have it. Do you think he's wrong about what you said?
I 100% said it was straight out the front door.
Okay, next question, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. And during the course of that conversation, you never once, Ms. McCabe, not once, mentioned a several-ton Jeep with a snowplow attached to it, did you?
I'm not sure if I did or not.
Let's take another look at the report. Would that refresh your recollection to see the report?
Objection.
Look at how stunned she is. She's like, I never said that. Well, would it refresh your recollection? Now she's like scrambling in her head. You can see the gears turning in her head. She's like, when did I say that? When did I say something like that? Which interview was this one? Which one could it have been? You know, like she's sifting through. That's why she is pausing, because she's trying to do mental gymnastics to find where Alan is, because he's going out of order. Remember, from the first video, we talked about how it's a lot better when you cross-examine someone to sift through their lies is by going out of chronological order. Because when you go chronologically, you are allowing the individual to just recall all the old and new images in sequence, which is a lot easier to do. But if you start with the day after the murder, and then you go back to the day before the murder, and then you go back to the night of the murder, and then you go back 30 minutes before, when you start jumping around like Alan Jackson has been doing, he's making the witness's job at lying a lot harder. And that's why Jennifer McCabe is struggling so much, as you can clearly see.
Do you think that will help you?
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
Direct your attention once again to paragraph 3. You've had an opportunity to review.
I have, yeah.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Also, notice how short she is. Have you had an opportunity? Yes, I have. Yes. She's extremely nervous. Very stressed out.
That looks like a report from Trooper Proctor of your interview, correct?
Correct.
That interview was taken on January 29th, correct?
Correct.
That interview was taken just a few hours, not days or weeks, hours after the events in question, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked what you saw, what you observed in front of 34th Fairview on that morning, correct? I'm sorry, the night before, correct?
He asked specific questions about Miss Reed's vehicle.
Okay. And when
Now, the reason Alan Jackson is going back to a statement from January 29th is because that was the day of the murder, of course, of John O'Keefe's death. And it is also well before the theory of who are we going to pin this on and how has come into existence yet. Very important. So actually, Jennifer McCabe's statements on January 29th may be the only, well, I shouldn't say the only, but possibly the closest thing to the truth of what actually happened is. That may be the closest thing that we have to the truth, because that was before they cooked up the whole theory that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her car.
you said where you remember Miss Reed's vehicle being, you placed it in the exact spot where you're now saying there was a Jeep with a snowplow on it, correct?
Incorrect. I never placed Miss Reed's car in the spot where Mr. Higgins' vehicle was.
So as Trooper Proctor was taking notes about what you were saying, he just got it wrong.
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
I will.
Oh, look at that hesitant look at the jury. That is not a good look. That's are my lies catching? Are they suspecting anything? That's what that look is. It is not a good look for a witness. Any witness, especially this witness. She wants to try and get a feel for them. She wants to read them. That's what master manipulators do. That's what narcissists do. She is a type A narcissist. She is a class A manipulator. And she has an audience. And unfortunately, she cannot directly influence her audience, which is the jury, because she is stuck in a fist fight, metaphorically speaking, with Alan Jackson. And the problem with being stuck in a fist fight as a manipulator, you're unable to use your entire toolkit. Your ability to manipulate is stymied or halted.
Never mentioned, according to that report, not one word about a Jeep, right?
I may never have been asked about a Jeep.
So if you weren't asked about a Jeep, you also weren't asked about a Nissan Altima. You mentioned that?
No.
Right.
You see, trying to pin the blame on somebody else taking bad notes on the day of the incident, the day of the death, her attempt, Jennifer McCabe's attempt to even try and claim that Trooper Proctor did not take good notes is, she thinks she's winning. Little does she know, if I could have eyes on that jury at that moment, I think they would be rolling their eyes and giving her a very sus look. She's just not coming off as credible on these answers. And Alan Jackson got her in a contradiction that she was talking about Karen Reed's car and not Brian Higgins' Jeep. And now suddenly Karen Reed's car is somewhere else and the Jeep is in her spot a few months later. So she has to cover up. She has to make something up. Believe me when I say this, the jury is catching on. I wasn't in the room, unfortunately, when this all unfolded. I was in the courtroom a couple days prior, and I got a chance to see Allie McCabe, her daughter, whom probably learned everything that she knows from her mother, unfortunately for her. Allie is not going to go very far in life with a mother like that. I hate to say it. I mean, she's already over the age of majority. I think she's 21 or 22. When you have a mother like that, you just need to run in the opposite direction as far as you can. Distance yourself from these people and try and create a life of your own, because it may already be too late. It may already be too late. She may be in too deep. I'm talking about Allie McCabe, of course.
Because what he asked you was, what did you observe in front of the house? Ma'am, that's what he asked you, wasn't it?
No.
And you said, I observed her car by the mailbox.
No.
And you never mentioned the Jeep, did you?
You are not portraying what the conversation was.
Did you or did you not mention a Jeep sitting on that, right by that driveway, Trooper Proctor? Yes or no?
It's not in the report. I don't recall if he asked me about a Jeep.
Now, following the events of January 28th, 29th, you spoke extensively to Chris and Julie Albert, correct?
What do you mean by extensively?
Did you speak at all?
Yes, we did.
Between then and now, to Chris and Julie Albert.
Did you catch the sirens in the back, by the way? I swear to you, there is something underlying going on. If you've not been paying attention up until now, when court resumes on Monday, June 3rd, for the Karen Reed case, pay attention when some of the McAlberts, as we like to call them, the McCabes and the Alberts, who are in on this together in the cover-up of the murder of John O'Keefe, pay attention to the sirens. Because sometimes in the middle of testimony, the sirens will just come on, or like just now that you've heard like, boop, 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 boop. That is an indicator. I'm telling you, there is some involvement there by the police who are trying to protect and remember John O'Keefe. I wholeheartedly believe that. There's been way too many patterns. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the trial from the beginning if you've got the time. You will see exactly what I mean. Pay attention to the witnesses for the prosecution when they take the stand and when the sirens come on. Very rarely do the sirens come on before testimony or during the breaks. It's always when someone is on the witness stand. Universally. It's kind of crazy.
Do I speak to Chris and Julie Albert
Have you spoken to them about these events between then and now?
about this case? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, Ms. McCabe, I'm asking about this case.
Of course, I speak to them all the time about the vicious harassment we are all receiving.
Oh,
That
the
wasn't my fault.
harassment. She found a way. She finally found a way to weave in the harassment that they are receiving. Oh, you mean the fact that everybody knows it was you who did it and they want to point the finger and you're too scared to come forward and say, yes, it was us because now you're in too deep?
Question. My question was, did you talk to them about this case, Ms. McCabe?
Yes.
I realize you want to give additional answers and editorialize. I'm asking you very specific questions.
Stop editorializing, lady. I'm the one asking you specific questions. That's it. Alan is right on the money.
Objection.
Okay, so objection as to the form. We've talked about this at sidebar, Mr. Jackson.
You've talked to them about the details of that night, correct? The 28th going into the morning of the 29th.
Yes.
You've talked to them about what happened at the bar, correct?
We've spoke about how we were all at the bar and Karen and John came in.
Is that yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, she's trying to editorialize everything. This woman is relentless.
You've spoken to them about your memory of what happened at the house at 34 Fairview that night, correct?
Yes.
You've spoken to them about who was at the bar, not just what happened, but who was there, correct?
Correct.
You talked to them about the timing of the night, correct?
I don't think specifically, no.
When people came to the bar, when they left, when people got to Fairview, when they left Fairview, things of that nature.
Well, they were at the bar, so they know who was there and when they left.
I didn't ask if you know what they know. I'm asking if you've ever spoken to them about these issues. Yes or no?
I can't be sure if we've spoken about the timeline.
And you've talked to them about when they got there and when they left.
I have no idea when they arrived at the waterfall.
Once again, Ms. McCabe, that's not what my question was. Do you understand my question? Have you spoken to them about their memory of that night and when they came and left?
They have not shared with me when they got there or when they.
In the 2 years or 2.5 years since this event, you've had extensive conversations with your friends and family about this circumstance, correct? That's
Correct.
See, he's trying to get her to admit simple things. You talked about this case, yes or no? And she's like, well, when exactly do you mean? What does extensively mean? What exactly are you talking about? Because she has to be careful because every word of her lie needs to be perfect. Because if at least one of them is off, she may be caught in a rut and she's trying to avoid that. She's trying to avoid walking into the pitfalls that Alan Jackson is setting up for her. It's beautiful to watch. It's absolutely magnificent. And you will see as she continues to unravel during this cross-examination.
You've told them your observations of your story, correct?
Correct.
Your observations of the night,
Correct.
and they've told you their observations of the night, correct?
Correct.
So y'all have compared and contrasted your perspectives of what happened that night, correct?
We've tried to figure out what happened to John, our friend.
You compared perspectives is not the same as we just talked about what happened to John. And she knows it, and the jury knows it, and they see what Alan is trying to put down. And Jennifer McCabe resisting all of that is making her look even worse. She just doesn't know it because she's too self-centered, too narcissistic, too clever for her own good. Oh, this is magnificent.
To them extensively about your observations and what your story or your version is. Is that right?
To be honest, not extensively. Speaking about it is very painful and difficult.
What does extensively mean? More than twice?
Well, you tell me.
I'm asking the questions, Ms. McCabe. That's how the...
What does extensively mean? You tell me. Ms. McCabe, I'm the one asking the questions, so right back at you. What does extensively mean to you?
works.
I understand, but extensively would mean almost every day.
Do you talk to them almost every day?
I do, but not about the case.
Subjects about this case come up every day?
The harassment of the case does, yes.
What about the specific facts of the...
Now, you gotta understand something about the harassment, folks. She thinks that this is going to be her saving grace, that the jurors are going to go, oh, you poor souls. You're being harassed about this every day. Wait a minute. Why are you being harassed about this every day if you're not somehow involved and people suspect, but you're in hiding? What are you hiding? Why are you being harassed every day? What is the reason for your harassment? You know what I mean? People are going to have questions. She thinks she's skating by. She's everything but.
Case.
No, it's the facts aren't spoken as much as the vicious harassment is spoken about.
Understood. So you've told them your version of the events, correct? And they've told you their version of the events.
Correct.
And remind me, Chris and Julie Albert are, in fact, Colin's parents.
Correct.
Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. You know, this is what we're here for, to learn, to teach, and have fun together. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.